What do you believe is true for you? What do you believe is possible for you?
She is often called the most powerful and influential woman in the world. This is Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Gail Winfrey was born on January 29, 1954, in Kosciusko, Mississippi.
At the time, we were called colored people, Negroes, and my grandmother was a maid. That's all she ever knew. The only real expectation she held for me was that I would one day become a maid and, in her words, have some good white folks, meaning people who would not speak negatively about me, who would allow me to take food home, who would be good to me, would treat me with some level of dignity and respect.
After a troubled adolescence in a small farming community where she was sexually abused by a number of male relatives and friends of her mother, she moved to Nashville to live with her father, who was a barber and businessman.
But I had another dream for myself, more than a dream. I had a belief for myself.
Oprah developed great intelligence and speaking abilities early on, and these were encouraged by her grandmother and father.
I remember watching her hang out clothes on a line one day and say to me, "You have to watch me, Oprah Gail, because one day you'll have to do this for yourself." And knowing inside myself that that was not going to be my life. Don't know how I knew it, other than that thing that we all have, intuition or an instinct that said, no, this will not be my life. But because I sensed that and was connected to that, and I remember it was a very still moment. It was quiet, and I was still, and I was watching her. I could see her right now with the clothespins in her mouth and putting them on the line and seeing the breath, because it was cold, the moisture coming from her lips. And I knew that that would not be my life. I knew that I will not be hanging clothes on a line in a backyard in Mississippi. So I was either 4 or 5 years old. And that belief that that would not be my life is what I held on to for the longest of times.
She went on to obtain a full-ride scholarship to Tennessee State University in 1971, where she studied communications and began working in radio and television broadcasting in Nashville. 5 years later, Oprah moved to Baltimore, Maryland, where she began hosting the TV chat show People Are Talking. There, she became the youngest news anchor and the first Black female anchor. The show became a hit, and Winfrey stayed with it for 8 years. Later, she was recruited by a Chicago TV station to host her own morning show called AM Chicago. Her major competitor in time slot was Phil Donahue. Within several months, Winfrey's open, warm-hearted, personal style had won her 100,000 more viewers than Donahue and had taken her show from last place to first in the ratings. Oprah's success led to a nationwide fame and a role in Steven Spielberg's 1985 film The Color Purple, for which she was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. Also in 1998, she produced and starred in the film adaptation of the novel Beloved. She went on to produce films and lent her voice to a number of children's features. Winfrey launched The Oprah Winfrey Show in 1986 as a nationally syndicated program. With its placement on 120 channels and an audience of 10 million people, the show grossed $125 million by the end of its first year, of which Winfrey received $30 million. With talk shows becoming increasingly trashy and exploitative, Winfrey pledged to keep her show free of tabloid topics. Although ratings initially fell, she earned the respect of reviewers and was soon rewarded with an upsurge in popularity.
I just heard what you said. You just said, I don't sit with monkeys. You think because she's black, because I'm black, we're monkeys? Is that?
That's a proven fact.
That's a proven fact? It's a proven fact that I'm a monkey?
Could be.
Go ahead.
First thing I want to get off my mind.
She soon gained ownership of the program from ABC, drawing it under the control of her new production company, Harpo Productions. Oprah was able to identify herself with her audience by telling stories of her past. For example, in 1986, she disclosed that she had been molested in her youth. She was also vocal about her weight and relationship problems. This type of confessional therapy was dubbed the Oprahfication of television. Oprah also helped raise the profile of gay, bisexual, transsexual, and transgender people, and this helped those groups gain human acceptance. By the 1990s, her show had broadened its format. She discussed health, spirituality, literature, and social issues, in addition to the celebrity interviews for which she would become famous. In 1993, Oprah made history once again by interviewing Michael Jackson in the most watched interview ever. Oprah also made memories when she wheeled a wagon full of fat into her set in 1988 and when Tom Cruise infamously jumped on her couch in 2005. Oprah's talk show also resulted in the Oprah effect. This was the suggestion that Oprah Winfrey's show was powerful enough to influence the American public in terms of book sales, religion, spirituality, and political opinions. In 2000, Winfrey helped find the Oxygen television network. In January 2008, Oprah announced she would be starting her own special television channel called OWN, and it launched in 2011. That same year, The Oprah Winfrey Show aired its last episode on May 25, 2011.
The countdown to the end of The Oprah Winfrey Show starts now.
Despite falling ratings, the show had remained the #1 talk show since it aired for the very first time in 1986. Oprah spent most of her career in front of the camera, but Winfrey has also found success in the magazine industry with her booming O magazine, which she debuted in 2000. She further proved her influence by transforming a number of television personalities into household names, including Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz, Rachel Ray, Nate Berkus, and her longtime best friend, Gayle King. With a net worth that approaches $3 billion, Oprah can count herself as the first black female billionaire, as well as the United States' richest self-made woman. She's considered the most influential African American of her generation and the most influential American woman in history. She also donates more of her money to charity than anyone else in show business, as an extremely active philanthropist. After building an empire from nothing, Oprah Winfrey has indelibly influenced and will long be remembered for her contributions to popular culture.